OpinionOutlaws,
Amen.
ladies and gentlemen. And today we have a special announcement. As you can see, we have a new cast member. We have a new cast member, and he's been a guest of us the first season. I don't know how many of you guys have been checking it out, but highly recommend it. And I have to say that welcome.
I appreciate it.
Welcome.
Thank you very much.
And
Oh, yeah, like
do you
expecting
wanna-
something out of
do
me.
You
Yeah.
want to introduce yourself?
I mean, they already know the sexy ass,
Yeah,
voice and sexy ass appearance. So
Of course.
I mean,
How did you become black?
oh Jesus Christ! Oh,
No,
Jesus.
so we
already
no,
go-
this time we
at
really
least-
want to hear.
At least this time we have a proper sound system, and our voice won't be cracking that much, and the video quality is improved by slight. But, yeah.
a bit better.
So
Yeah,
hopefully you like the
step up.
pretty much.
A bit.
I will say a step up.
Yeah.
So, today's episode, I would say it goes segue to the last episode that we had, appreciating things. And I highly recommend also to check that episode out.
Absolutely.
In TikTok, actually, it got over 2,000 views
2,000.
from one clip. So,
It's already 2,000. When I was checking it out, it was about something like 1,700.
yeah, something like that. But yeah, highly recommend it. It was a great episode. And
Come on.
now today, we're talking about immigration, but not maybe in a political way.
We'll see about that. We'll see about that in a few
Well,
minutes.
not in a political way, but in a way where we start with appreciation and then we go with how it affects people when they are migrating from place and to place.
Yeah.
And first thing first, or you have something already?
Yes. First off, I want to just clarify on our behalf. We are not like the most, let's say, knowledgeable guys on this. We're just because we are coming from the perspective of mental health and psychology. We encourage you that if you really want to get much deeper into these subjects, we recommend you to Google it out. And
read something.
Read something. We are just
We're not
three guys
scholars,
talking
that's
about
what
it
he
from
tried to
our
say.
own perspective. Like we're definitely gonna just bring our own perspective, obviously.
Yeah.
But if you really want to learn more about it, we would highly suggest you to find some articles to read about it.
Yeah, for sure.
About it. And before we
sure.
get down to the subject, we encourage you to click like and subscribe to our channel and visit our TikTok, our Instagram, all that kind of stuff before we get much deeper into this episode. So that's all.
Great.
In a holy Lord's name, amen.
Amen.
Great.
Yeah.
So we start with appreciating. I would say like this: people forget to appreciate the things that they have when they are in their homes, when they are in their place, when they have a safe place to be. They forget to appreciate the things that they already have. And I've seen this a lot when people go outside of when they are migrating for some reason. It could be many reasons, but when they migrate, they start to appreciate those things that they already had in home or in that place. They start to appreciate it more. What do you guys think about this statement that I said? Yes, no, maybe, counter arguments.
I mean,
Do you want to go first?
crossfire.
So political.
Go ahead.
You go first. I will go first. No, yeah. But even we can bring it to a smaller scale. Like we all have gone to military service. We have done our own military service. You remember we had those times we would go in the middle of woods and do those practices. Even that was enough for us to change our perspective about having a warm bed.
True.
So remember, I remember we had the final exam where we could get our marks, whatever it's called. Those
Basically
kind
a
of things we
branch
get.
or-
Anyways, a branch. So I remember in the middle of forest, 2 a.m. in the middle of night, being in there in cold, it's just swearing in your head, and then right next morning you get back to the training camp, to your home base, and man, it feels so warm to be in the bed. Yeah, you don't forget that you learn to appreciate having that warm bed.
I mean, not even the warm bed. You appreciate to have time to sleep.
Yeah,
that's
but
how bad it went.
Yeah. But the point is, like, you
okay.
before that, you were it was very easy. Oh, this is shitty, but this
call
shitty
it.
bed to sleep in. I don't like the first time I was thinking, like getting home, like you weren't even thinking, fuck this place. You're just thinking, warm bed, you know. So that's a very like when you bring it down to smaller scale. That's one of the way, like going even small, a few miles away from where you are, can be enough for you to start appreciating things you take for granted.
And it all stems from if you've got used to something for way too long, you don't tend to see the value of it that much. So, just like he said, when we went to army, when we were conscripts, we already realized that. Like we took it as a already known thing that everybody got bed, everybody got house, warm place, and so on. Yeah. But then when you were thrown in a situation that you haven't used to or haven't been in that much, it makes you realize, oh shit, oh shit, like. Even the value of time becomes much more clearer to you. Like, okay, I see. Like 10 minutes is also like valuable. Like, talking to friends or having relationships with people is valuable. So,
yeah, and especially being in the middle of the woods when you go to tent in the winter time, and then you have that one guy who forgets to maintain the fire, and then you wake up in the middle of the night and you're
those guys. Who has experienced it know exactly what we're talking about.
And then you're trembling in the cold. You wake up. That's one of the worst things to wake up to, trembling in the cold. And then there comes this sub-sergeant who's saying like, "Oh, it turned off. There's no fire anymore." No fucking shit.
Those who did that, your motherfuckers who did that, I hope your daddy whoop your ass properly next time, because your motherfuckers fucked me up last time.
God, like. The one thing that I was very fortunate, I've never experienced in the coldest times. I experienced it when it was like cold, but not when it was like minus 35.
Oh, true. Neither did I.
Thank God. But yeah, I know exactly what kind of experience. Like you wake up and you look at it like your partner, like, why is it so cold in here? And you look at the camera and you say, man.
Well, as a segue, I was one of the guys who liked to keep the oven steaming hot, that red hot, you saw it from a mile away when you look at what is it called? The pipe basically that comes out from the tent. It was blowing flames. That's how hot I kept it. So nobody could complain that the tent wasn't warm enough.
This guy just threw.
Hey, I'd rather be in a warm section, a warm place, than be freezing. That's just my honest me. But as a segue back to the earlier topic, because all of a sudden we started talking about military experience.
But
I mean, it kind of like gives perspective or a view to it.
Like I said, it is a bit like perspective brought to a smaller scale, but we widen it back to the scale as it was. Like if you are able to appreciate things on a smaller scale like that, how huge impact it is gonna be like when you are living in a certain country and then you migrate to the other country. Of course, then you think, maybe some things are not going so well in my own country, but on the contrary, you're also able to see, okay, so maybe things in my country are not so bad. Like social security is one of the things Finland is doing decently well. Maybe even better than average of European countries.
Top of the world.
Yeah.
Say easily top 3.
Yeah.
For social security. You can easily walk down the street with no fear, contrary to, for example, somewhere else in this world.
Yeah.
So Finland, it is a good place when it comes to like security base. But like you said, there is a big difference. Like we started a little bit big, but then he put it in a smaller scale, like just a few kilometers away, and it changes a little bit your attitude. But then when you migrate to a whole different nation that you don't speak the same language, you don't have the same places, you don't know where to go, where to stay, how to talk, how to communicate with people, you don't have money, you don't know anything. It is tough.
And let's not even talk about the culture shock that a lot of people have from, like, example, migrated from somewhere east or south and basically go to west, and the whole culture is different to what you used to and how you behave. That bro, I can tell that from experience as well, because I wasn't born here in Finland. Like I moved here when I was like little over 5 years old. So already the scenery was noticeably different to me. Like let's be
Everybody white here. What the hell?
Everybody and everything is fine here.
let's not go even that far away. I came during springtime. That's one of the worst times to come to Finland, basically. The early springs when it's gray and there's no snow and nothing pretty much. Even the grass wasn't green. It was like a grayish green.
Yeah, honestly, it just looked like shit.
Exactly. So imagine me as a black guy who used to be in a city that had a lot of life. Everybody was loud, colors and all that. And all of a sudden you come to a country that you don't even see your neighbors. People keep...
Isn't that like scary?
It was scary.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Bro, I thought I came to jail. I thought I came to jail.
Welcome to Finland.
Like, yeah, at the beginning it was like that, because especially when you don't know the language on top of that.
Oh yeah.
Luckily, when you were younger, of course, you learn and adapt much more quicker than your parents, like, for example.
Oh yeah.
But even with that, the difference was noticeable, because I was used to the loud sound, a lot of voices, a lot of lights, and so on. So all of a sudden, you come to something that has a kind of like a stale and neutral tone to it.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, like tell me more about it. Like, how did you perceive it?
Tell it to the field, you know.
Yeah. Tell more. Like, I want to hear, because I have heard my own experience from my sister, who has also, like, she lives in Australia, and she
Right.
Yeah. But anyway, so she lives in Australia, and my parents went there last year, and later afterwards they had come back home here in Finland. Was it like my sister's boyfriend or the boyfriend's parents who asked from my sister, like, why were they all so angry? Because they were taking, you know, Finnish is very monotone language, but they were asking, why were you always arguing about something? Because it sounds so angry about. You know, maybe I can see that, because, you know, if you would start saying something in Finnish, it sounds like
kind of monotone.
Yeah, very monotone. Like, why are you so
Very
angry?
like
Why are you so
very
angry to me? I didn't do anything, man.
But it's part of Finnish culture. People do not ask questions or speak unless spoken to.
Yes.
Or ask questions. So
Yes.
they do not have a random chit chats with strangers,
Yes.
pretty much.
Yes.
And that was noticeable, especially in bus stations or bus stops. Like everybody kept like a over 5 meter distance from each
Yes.
other, just to get in a bus where you're gonna sit like a few meters
And
away.
even like a hint that you would sit right next to some stranger. Like,
Oh Jesus!
are you crazy?
And that's I don't want to even run far away to the progress from that, because the adaptation, because, you know, when you live somewhere long enough, you start to adapt into the culture to a degree, of course. And also I started noticing that, oh shit, I'm avoiding people as well. Like, of course I'm still hyperactive, enjoy socializing and so on, but when I got into the bus, you know, I started thinking with two minds. The one, you know, I could be, you know, homie and go sit next to somebody and be like, hello, how are you, and so on. But then with other thought, I'm like, but we're in Finland right now. If I go sit right next to that person goes to look at me like I'm a crazy guy.
He's gonna have a panic attack.
And they start having like, why you come next to me like I'm allergic to you or something?
What do you want from me?
What do you want?
You know, this I always thought that this experience that we are talking about is just in smaller cities. Like, we live in a small city. We are honest, right? This is a small city, and it's more of a village-based, like many villagers and many farmers who have been farmers have come to this place to live in the city because of a job or family or school or whatever the case may be. And we went with my brother a week ago. We went in Helsinki, in the biggest city in Finland.
Capital city of Finland.
Capital
city of Finland.
Yes, sir.
And we hopped on the metro. It was the same there. Nobody talked to each other. Very quiet. The only guys who were in noise was me and my brother. And they looked at us like, why you guys are laughing and smiling?
Why you loud, man?
Why are you so happy?
We are not loud.
That's
you know?
true.
We are not loud, but they are looking at like, why you are enjoying? Like, what is it? And the worst part is it was like today. It was sunny and it was warm. So all pieces come together. We were just laughing and enjoying and joking at all these. And the metro just was quiet. And I'm looking at it like, no way. There is no way. You can't. There is no way that even in the capital city of Finland, where it's about the population is about 1 million, something like that.
Is it?
Yeah, the one
No,
fifth of.
is it that far? No, I don't think it's even million yet.
Yeah, like the whole area is.
Oh, you mean the whole Pekoseutu?
Yeah.
Oh, it involves Espoo, Vantaa, and so on.
Yeah.
Then, of course, after that, it goes like over a million.
Like over a million or something. And in the metro, which is used like regular basis all the time, people don't talk still. And there, even the more, I would say, more astounding thing is that if you see a foreigner there, it's not a new thing. Like there have been foreigners for decades now.
Too many.
Like
I cancel.
he has actually experience when he went to from this, I don't want to say place, but from this city to an outer, a little bit smaller place.
Like kind of like suburbs.
Is it suburbs? Even like a village suburbs.
Kind of like that.
Countryside area.
Like, yeah, kind of like a
kinda
countryside.
that. He went there in the store
Oh Jesus, I remember this shit.
and he was looked at like he was an alien.
Like imagine this. Imagine immigrated, migrated, immigrant.
Migrated.
Yeah, migrated person that has come to a new country, basically adapted the culture, have gone through schools, clean record, gone through the army bullshit basically, and
Bullshit is a good word.
is in a university on top of that. Till this day, I feel like I'm not treated as a citizen. That's the funniest part. Like I've been, I have like the citizenship for many years already, and I've done pretty much all the requirements that citizen is required to do. But still, for some
Do you pay taxes there?
motherfucker, bro, I feed people nowadays. I feed people.
It's a joke because in Finland
Everybody like you pay taxes, man. Shut your
everybody
bitch.
pays taxes.
That's the funniest thing. Everybody pay taxes. But anyway, like all through that, like I was like, yeah, you know, because after you have had the citizenship and done all the requirements, like the basic requirements, you're like, okay, I'm part of the, you know, I
Society.
belong to the. I'm finished now, right?
Yeah.
Well, for some reason, when you go to certain cities and villages, they just see you as another, straight up as a stranger or somebody that don't belong here. Even if you have done everything that they ask you to do, they will still treat you like you do not belong. And then up in my head, I'm like, hold on. So I've gone through all that bullshit, being good citizen, and basically gone through your army. So one day when war comes up, I have to fight for y'all asses. But y'all treat me like I ain't even a citizen. So what the fuck would I even stay around? But that's like a thought that comes up when you go to those scenarios where people treat you like you don't even belong to the group.
And understand that this is a personal experience more. And this is more of a perspective of mental part of immigrants. And this is not like one guy. These are many like guys or girls who have come in this land or any kind of land, not just here, has a similar type of experiences. But Finland, I can say, and you can testify that Finland, when it comes to like economy and when it comes to security, when it comes to like basic needs,
Human needs.
living, you have the best.
Oh, of course, Finland is like top tier,
in the
hands down.
world, in the world, hands down, I would say Finland,
Is it Denmark?
Norway.
I don't know about Switzerland. Is more like a
Switzerland, yeah.
baller place.
Baller place. Denmark, Norway, Iceland. Can we say Iceland?
Maybe.
Possibly. Yeah. So Finland, from all these, Finland may be the best. But then you have to sacrifice one thing, and it's social life. So
Segue real quick to that earlier. So let me clear up real quick. By me telling the earlier story, I do not mean that Finnish people are asshole or trash. Or Because as we know, we have our absolute beautiful brothers and sisters right here. For example, Piri right here, and I know a lot of people
Thank you.
that are absolutely lovable and clear as the day, like shiny person and have a wonderful personality. But this is like a overall like view, like majority of Finnish people tend to treat.
I'm gonna ask you something.
Yep.
Is it the young or older people who are more?
Well,
more
clearly
what?
it's the older people because they have that a certain kind of like a stigma or idea of a foreigner, and
Yeah.
they're kind of like used to just certain type of people.
Yeah.
Because of course, I can't blame them on that part.
Yeah.
But come on now.
Yeah, there are a lot of prejudices around people who come from outlands, and because that's the way we are wired as people, that we assume that it is a threat. Because as we know, we are wired to take more notice of things that might be a threat. Of course, not all black people are a threat, but some people. Yeah, but anyway, so because not majority people are wired that way, and they don't have that much experience from outlands, they are much more prone to assume, oh, you are not our color, and that must mean that there is something. Hey, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
What? What?
You said that. You have the N-word pass, but we.
Hey!
I have said it before, so we good.
Yeah.
Hey, I ain't trying to get your channel banned. We ain't trying to get this channel banned right now.
We go.
Cancel culture.
Anyway,
But yeah.
anyways,
back to you.
what was I saying? So anyways, because it's for all the people, because they're so accustomed to see more Finnish people, see more people from all around Europe. So and then there comes some black guy from somewhere, wherever he comes from, and then it can be like, where are you from?
Yeah.
Or they most likely they don't speak English, but
I mean, it's understandable, especially if you haven't seen certain type of or certain colored people in your whole lifetime, and all of a sudden, boop, they popped out.
Yeah.
They feel like an alien. They feel like a stranger.
Yeah,
Like,
it can be like the one foreigner or immigrant coming from outside land can be, of course, culture shock. But we also have to think like it's gonna be a culture shock both ways to Finnish people, especially if they have never traveled around the world.
bro, and you don't even have to think that far away. Even inside Finland, Finnish people treat each other like strangers, especially if you're somebody from like, in terms of like capital, Londelainen, so anybody who's outside of the like major city area, you're kind of like a hillbilly or somebody from Alabama.
I know.
And anybody who's outside of Helsinki, Vantaa, and so on, you see as city people the dumb people, basically.
Oh yeah,
And you treat them as such.
I can
So
testify to that.
there's already like inside issues that we have, like we see each other as strangers. So imagine somebody who comes outside of the borders inside and adds to the mix. So I don't blame them. I don't blame them at all, because we could say, imagine your situation. If, you want to tell to our lovely people where you're from as well, because we can see the sexy skin. Hey, you also sexy, but with his sexy skin, we already know he ain't even from Finland. So would you like to explain to people where you're from? Or what is your background?
I'm gonna keep it a secret.
Hey man, come on, man, man. I'm gonna snitch his ass. Anyway, so this sexy motherfucker as well is original. His parents are not from like Finland. He was born in Finland, but his parents are from. You can imagine if bunch of strangers or bunch of people who do not look like you all of a sudden start I wouldn't say invading, but coming into your space all of a sudden. And invading. I don't want to say invading because they're technically not invading, but they're like coming into your space and kind of like taking to a degree your resources that you have to that land. How would you feel about it?
We have actually had that experience, and it was a whole war thing going on, but the war thing is a war thing, but I'm talking about the people then afterwards who came to Albania or Kosovo. Those people, they most of them have been treated well, and the reason why is because as people, they we treat outsiders better than we treat ourselves. It's like a cultural thing that if you're an outsider, we will treat you well.
But if you're local, man, fuck your life.
If you're local, you have to testify why we should treat you well. Like it's that kind of thing.
Yeah,
And I would say most of them have had a good experience who have like come outside of that area. Like for example, if from Africa people have come, but I can testify also as well that some people have been ignorant to it, and they have been racial slurs, I would say, to a point. But I'm just being honest about it, and it's not a perfect, but I would say that the reaction would be like, "Hey, wait a second, what's up? What are you doing?" It's more like curiosity, I would say, in my part. But it's hard to say because usually it comes with experience, right? If there is good experience, then you will be positively, I would say, magnetized to it. But then if it's negative experience, then you will be repulsed by it. Like that's why in Finland it was so hard for a foreigner to be anywhere, because the bad experience came from news. In the news always was like always war, always struggling, always surviving.
Yeah.
But they never showed in the news the good sides of the story.
Yeah, because it sells more to tell negative stories than positive stories, and the fact is that the negative stories are gonna stick to your your memory much more better than the positive ones.
Yeah. So when foreigners came here, it was seen as either they are a threat or they have done something bad. Even they have done nothing wrong, and because Finland as a culture, when it comes to socializing, is very at the deep end of, I would say, close to a zero compared to all the other cultures that you will ever meet. In all the other cultures, there's always some sort of, I would say, interaction. Germany is maybe the second closest to this.
Okay.
Yeah, like as a culture, they don't like to speak to each other in a sense. Germans have more of a like with a command, do this, done. In Finnish is more of a, in Finland, so the culture is more of a like we have rules and we go by rules. You get what I'm saying?
And God forbid if you talk to a stranger.
Yeah, God forbid if you talk to a stranger. But
Yeah.
in Finland, I must say this: if you want your peace and quiet, and you don't want to talk to people, this is the place.
Yes, this is the place. This is the ghetto.
If you want to be depressed most of the year, of course, you're welcome as well. The weather will treat you nicely and treat you with warm grasps.
No, who said that?
Exactly, that's the point.
But the way, if you really want to did we actually talk about this in the first episode of the season? That if you really want to bond with Finnish person, you need to do only one thing, and it's complaining about whatever. Just bitch about whatever you want to talk about. For example, food. If it's cheap, just complain about it. Don't give a shit if it's cheap. Just complain about it. Yeah. And then you have already one possible friend from Finland.
Amen. Amen.
With the thing that we said, that how people react to it, then it spirals down to that bigger problem that we have afterwards. Because when negativity is pushed by news or by media, usually it is pushed. Why? Because, like you said, it will sell more, even if it's not right. Like if somebody says Arab, the first thing most people will say wife beater, bomber, like
camel rider.
But if you go to the Arab land anywhere, they are so peaceful. Most of the Arab nations that you go, normal Arab nations, not the ones that are in conflict with someone, usually they are so peaceful. You get what I'm saying? But we come to the bigger issue where the negativity is pushed, narrative is pushed. Now foreigner comes into your homeland or your city or whatever. Now you start to treat them bad, not because you want to treat them bad, but because you fear. Now, that person who is a foreigner, what options do they have when it comes down to living or either surviving? That's when it becomes a problem. Like for example, good example is Sweden. Sweden,
Fucked up.
like it's a if you honestly look at it with the objective look, you can see that there is, I would say, perpetuating that thing where a foreigner goes there and it's put into this one area where they have to fight for scraps. And then all of a sudden it becomes a bigger issue where the crime rate goes higher and the injustices happens all the time, or rape happening all the time, and all these things that are maybe not good for society are, I would say, perpetuating more and more because of the fact that they are trying to survive. So that I would say is a bigger spiral and problem. And Finland, for example, has done a great job with this. In Finland also as well, there are like locations, but there are not like certain areas where it's just this and there is very bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Amipetonen, what?
no,
Kontula, what?
it has been pretty good actually.
Yeah.
Right now.
Amipetonen is good, but Kontula, what?
So essentially, you mean like, yeah, we in here in Finland, sure we do have immigrants, but the way it has been done is they're more integrated into society
They
compared
have
compared to like Sweden, where they are kind of like we have Swedes and other guys, and they're the immigrants.
like,
Is that what you mean?
all I'm saying is that in Finland, I don't know how they have been regulating it more, but I would say that they have done a better job than Sweden. Because in Sweden, it's like a well-known thing that, for example, in Stockholm, there are certain areas that are slums. Actual slums.
Oh yeah, some that
Right.
is only on third world countries, but now it's even in a so-called first world country as well.
Yeah.
So that's a big alarming.
That is
Sign.
alarming, and it's a very alarming thing because how in the world, for example, in Sweden, which is very like progressive nation or progressive country, there is in their capital city there is an area where it's like favela. It's like slums. It's a place. It's a place when even police are afraid to go.
Kind of like the immigrants are the ones that are controlling the area, not even the locals anymore.
Yeah, countries
So
as a country.
Yeah. So that is I would say when it comes to like that bigger issue that I'm talking about. So, but I could do, if I want to, I could find even this a resolve to it. But you know what? I will not give any resolve.
Man.
Do you know why?
Oh.
Because some political bullshit will go there. We should do this, and then he would get all the credit.
Actually, the funny thing is why Finland is also messing it up right now, even though it's not as bad as Sweden, is because in Finland we have the certain government or political sides that like to be like, we gotta take all the immigrants in, we're trying to be the good Samaritans, but at the same time they're forgetting their own like, how would I say?
It's either or. They mean
Yeah.
we need immigrants, or we need to like make our own people work.
Pretty much.
Either or. It's not like we can do both, but
Yeah.
it's
And
Yeah, there you go. He found the solution.
and no.
it's simple.
On top
Just
of
take them both. Take immigrants and occupy your Finnish people, and that's it.
And no, but also on top of that, a good example is criminal rates or crime rates in Finland has risen up, and there's two things in it. One is that how they announce it in news, pretty much, where we go back to what you guys said before.
Traumatizing.
They do not say a Finnish person or just a person did a crime. They have to mention their nationality as well. The immigrant did a crime, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
The same exact crime
Yeah.
that Finnish person did or some citizen did.
Yeah. That's actually I just want to, if I may interrupt. Like it's interesting because they never like mention the background of that immigrant, whatever. Where is he coming from? I'm not saying that it justifies any illegal deed, but
true.
I'm not saying. But the context matters. That's the essential thing. If they come from areas of crime, it is understandable why they might turn to that kind of activity, whatever is it.
We do not justify any of motherfuckers who be doing that criminal shit.
Yeah.
But as we said, imagine as local, you hear or you read a news that says immigrant X did a crime. But even if it was a minor crime, But imagine just reading that headline. That already triggers in your head. Like, hold on, this person comes to my area, my city, and start wilding and be in the headlines.
Yeah.
That already creates like our own kind of imagery in their head. Like, okay, all of these type of people ain't good for us.
Yeah.
On top of that, the second thing that I want to say about that is people who migrate to like Finland that have a criminal background or do a lot of criminal action in Finland. Man, the government or the political side should be sending them back or doing some other shit. Because right now they're doing the, well, we try to still be good. We try to change them. One good example is, not saying, but this one Iraqi Kurdish background guy that is in jail right now that is accused of using a minor or.
Here?
Yeah, not in Kuopio, but in Helsinki. No. His name was Milanjaf.
Okay, tell us about it more.
Man, this guy, bro. This guy is kind of like a good example of a immigrant that comes to Finland, doesn't like work, doesn't do any proper like job as a what is expected from a citizen to pay taxes and so on.
Yeah.
Starts creating his own gang. And start doing like the dumb shit, like living the gang life. Actually, he was imitating this one American guy, Boon Gang. This one American youngster that was stealing stuff from the store and saying "tush case" and so on. Like he was like doing some dumb shit. But anyway, this guy was mimicking him. Okay. He was mimicking, like doing the dumbest shit, going to Sweden's like expensive stores, stealing clothes and running out, basically. Hit and run type of shit.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, so imagine you bring this type of guy to Finland, and be surprised that they do not become as a proper citizen, or like they do not behave as a proper citizen, and their name are put on a headline after they do some dumb shit, and all you're gonna say is, "Oh well, too bad. Well, we're still gonna like put some money into him and treat him like." A good Samaritan, he's a good guy, and so on. No, everybody should have a consequence on their behavior, no matter as true citizen or a migrant. But because Finnish people see right now that immigrants are treated better, like, hold on, they're raping our people, stealing, robbing, doing dumb shit.
Yeah.
And they're just treated even better. Like, oh shit, you know what? They're still getting allowance. They're getting homes. And all of that are coming out of taxpayers' pocket. So to a degree, I understand why Finnish people are frustrated and kind of like have a pre-made or pre-view of a immigrant.
Yeah.
Because we have those type of situation that we have a lot of people, a lot of immigrants that do crimes and do not bear a proper consequence to that.
Yeah.
So
but it goes to the point of overgeneralizing. One immigrant did this, and now it's all the immigrants who are doing it. That's the problem. But I understand, like, it sure frustrates when you hear that immigrants are being treated differently, because it brings them that sense of entitlement. Oh, I can do whatever I want. It's okay. They're so progressed, so we are kind of like, we are protected by their political correctness in a way. And they just take advantage of it as ruthlessly as they can. But now you mentioned about the gang violence. That's also the thing. Like, what happens here? I just remember reading a few weeks back about how gang violence or gangs are being idolized.
Gang activity.
They idolize a lot of being in a gang and
British behavior.
Yeah, like there have been some influencers who have had that backstory of being put into jail, and they are being idolized. So that's part of the problem. But also, I don't know exactly all the things affecting it, but also that is kind of like the problem. Like, it's just saying that all the immigrants are doing this shit, but they're just excluding now the Finnish people who are also doing the same shit. So it's kind of like very hypocritical to say, all immigrants are just beating up all the elderly people or whatever and stealing us at the same time. Finnish people are doing the same shit.
Exactly.
So it doesn't make sense. What is the base of this all argumenting that immigrants are the threat, as we are internal citizens are also doing the exactly same illegal stuff. Right.
True. Yeah, that is a good point. But this is I would say, the part where when you are knowledgeable and when you are unknowledgeable. because if you know, for example, that different cultures different ways, and if you, I'll give you guys actually a great example. There was a situation here. I don't know, have I a story time? Of course.
Yeah, our
Segue.
story man.
Yeah, chapter
Story
1.
time. We need the title.
Have you heard that I'm that cool uncle who
Jesus
comes with all great stories?
I got worried for a moment when he started with the uncle.
It's already like a meme to us. Like every goddamn time, it's like, I have a story about this.
That's why
I have a story about
that's
this.
why you have to grow your beard and so on, so you can be like,
Hey, you can cut your hair and put it like for some one episode. You can just.
excuse me.
Now it's a story time.
So anyway, tell us your part.
The story is like this. Especially in cultures where there are big families, people usually talk with their hands, right? Like in Italy, for
Mamma
example,
mia.
or in my country, it's very common to talk with hands. You express yourself with hands and all that. And here in Finland, actually in this city that we are living, I will not say who or when or how, but I will say that there was a conversation going with two of foreigners, and they were suggest like
hand gestures, you know.
and the elderly woman who is Finnish saw that,
Oh my
and
god.
she thought they about to fight, so she called the police, and the police, of course, they have to do their duty.
Come, check it out.
Hey, we got the complaint that you were behaving violently.
What?
And the guys were looking, the both guys were like, what?
What you talking
What
about?
are we talking about? Well, there was a elderly lady who saw you like doing all these gestures and you were talking loud and you're about to fight. They were like, no, that's how we talk. Like, this is our culture.
Cringe.
So,
Fail.
so this is, I would say, what I'm talking about, the knowledge and unknowledge, where you don't know. You don't know that other culture. You don't know what other person is from where that from culture. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
From where that culture is originated from, or because that person is in that culture.
So basically, different cultures have different ways to communicate.
Exactly.
But not just communicating, but also being around and talking.
Tone.
Yeah. Non-verbal communication, verbal communication, all those kind of
This,
things.
for example.
Wait. You gotta. Yes,
For
sir.
example, many Finnish people look at this. This is weird.
What you
Not
doing?
even that. You
Are
know
you
what?
picking up a
The
flight or
regular
something?
handshake that you come like this.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't understand what you gotta do because a lot of people are used to this. Just no, not even that. The regular. Hi.
Yeah.
That's it. Pretty much.
Yeah.
And you could already see how awkward that was.
He's like, what the hell am I gonna do?
What the hell am I supposed to do with that? Come on.
Because they do not have that chill groove. Because you know everybody is tense. Everybody is into their own space, so they do not like.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh yeah, no. I was just about to say because on top of that, the language is one of sign how people like communicate. Because Finnish, we already know, it's pretty neutral language. It does not have like a she, he, female pronounce yes or
Connotations.
yeah, connotation. It's pretty neutral. Like you can say he. No,
He,
shit.
she,
You
whatever.
can say he, she, but with one word. Pretty much say han. That's
Han.
pretty much he and she at the same time.
Actually, do you know who likes this?
We're gonna get canceled soon enough, man. We're gonna
Do you
get.
know who likes this? That is not like gender.
Bro, he's gonna get us
He
canceled
or
soon
she.
enough.
Or do you get what I'm saying?
Not really.
Western
I'll
country.
explain to you after camera.
Bro, this guy's trying to get us canceled, man. I already.
I'll explain to you
I
after
understood it
camera.
before he even. The moment he looked at him, I already understood what the fuck he's trying to say.
Oh man.
But anyway,
Yeah.
the language, like compared to like example Italy, bro, or Italian, basically. Compared
Oh,
to
yeah.
I say Italy, like it's a language. Italian, that language has like tone. Spanish as well has a flavor to it because it
Yeah.
has a feminine tone and a masculine tone. And you
Yeah.
notice when people use that language, they tend to like have a certain characteristic into it, like movement.
Yeah.
You know, to just add an tone and a kind of like a deeper meaning or like a
Like we have
strengthen the word with like, you know, battle like fuck you.
we had the Well, you always choose the bad words.
Hey, I mean, oh yeah, bambino.
I don't know if you remember that we were in a Spanish class, and there was like, well, can I get you anything? ¿Qué quieren tomar?
No?
And you
Sí.
remember? Do you remember the guy who was the waiter who had that deeper voice?
Oh.
That went, ¿Qué quieren tomar? Or something like that.
It has a tone into it, like you know.
Like, do you really want something?
Yes, it's kind of like a flavor. Like,
Are you sure you want something? Are you absolutely sure? This is a decision you really need to think through.
because I don't know in is it Albanian or Kosovo? Yeah, in Albania, do y'all also have like a masculine and feminine tone?
It has, but it's not in the same way. For example, like in French. Like in French,
Man,
it's
French, fuck that language.
Yeah, exactly. But
Apologies to the French people, but fuck your language anyway.
Fuck your language.
But they have very strongly like feminine and masculine, also in Spanish. But in our language, more of the integrated. Like there are a lot of words that you can make masculine, a lot of words that you can make feminine, but you can use also
Neutral language, yes.
But yeah, it depends. It depends.
Because example, I speak Arabic as well, so we have the masculine and feminine tones, and you know when we start speaking, you know, yeah, Shlonik is more like Iraqish. لكن بصراحة يعني كان بالنسبة لك بالعربي you can notice like it has a different tone than joo, että niin tiedätkö kun todellisuudessa kun mä sanon sulle it kind of like
for you.
yeah niin شوية but yeah like it gives off clear you can see that it has this going on with the language so that could also affect I mean we kind of like segue from the subject but it gives like a extra point to the actual main subject.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we are morally, because like we said in the beginning, politics, not for us. We are good at it, but it's not for us. We are more of a mental side of this whole spectrum because we see this a lot where both sides are in the right and both sides are in the wrong. Like we had all these examples where immigrant came to Finland and he had all the rights, even better treatment than a Finnish guy or girl. And then he went and raped someone. Or other way around, where a guy who is studying here, who is foreigner, is not getting any jobs. For example, like both are in the wrong and both are in the right. Because in their perspective, they are not doing bad. So this is more of a part of a focus, I would say. But these are here we have, and I would say an X amount of examples of, for example, the Lampedusa island that we discussed actually 1 week ago before this, and 1 week after before that, and this before we started. We discussed it a little bit, but the thing is that neither one of us has like great expertise of what there is actually going. But that's a great example where people are going out of their own life to find a better life, and then they are finding the worse. So for anyone who doesn't know, there is a crisis right now where Lampedusa Island is an island of Italy, and it's used as a segue to Europe. And in that island, there is so close, I would say, to sub-Saharan Africa, where it's much easier to cross, for example, not just straight to Italy or straight to Greece or Spain, because they have a lot more tighter security over there. But Lampedusa Island, for example, is much easier to go from, I don't remember, Tunisia was the place?
Yeah, Tunisia.
Yeah, Tunisia was the place where they board to Lampedusa Island. And last year's November, if I remember correctly, in 3 days, there was something like 11,000 migrants.
And the capacity was what?
It was 400, and the amount of people there right now is something like 7,000.
Yeah, capacity is 400.
Yeah,
So it's basically
15 times more.
Yeah, 15 times more.
Over,
Right
even
now.
more. Yeah,
Like we are talking about right now.
yeah.
And this is an extreme. Like this is an actually extreme part. But the question arises that what pushes a human being to go that road? What pushes a human being that even if they know that there's a lot of people, even if they know that there's a lot of human beings who are getting used in a very bad way, because if there are a lot of people going in one direction, especially in this migration thing, there are bad people. Like we discussed it earlier, people are selling for slavery. This is not a joke. People are selling people for slavery. Why? Because it's easy. For example, some desperate human beings are trying to get out of their horrible situation, and then I got you. Just pay this. They pay, and they sell for slavery.
Excuse me, gentlemen, but I have to go to the bathroom.
Oh, go ahead, bro. We are continuing.
We're carrying you pretty much. Yeah.
Appreciate it. So what do you think of this, man?
I mean, as a background, because also my parents wanted a better like life, because it's your situation. You see your current situation. You see you do not have any future in your current situation, and in your mind, or basically in your mind, you have had an image about better life somewhere else, or you've shown through like example advertisement, TV or something that, oh, look at this country. Example, America. Why a lot of people idolize America, because we have that vision that is a American dream. Basically, you have a lot of possibility out there, and to a degree, of course, you have it, and so on. But based on those, you see your current situation that if you stay in it, you will most likely die as in poverty or die from other things, disease, and so on. So you decide that either you're going to stay here or try to reach to that better place. And that's what a lot of people like are pushing forward. Example, a lot of people are thinking that if I get to that better place, I will be able to, example, finance my family that will stay behind.
Yeah.
So there's like more to that, not just only like I'm trying to rescue my situation from where I'm right now. I'm also trying to find a better place for me and my family.
Yeah.
So that's why a lot of people are like risking their life, even though they know they might not reach it, but they rather take that risk than stay in a place that they all already know that they're guaranteed to fail.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
it pushes a human being to a certain point. Because it's not, nobody says like with their own, I would say, willingly say that, you know what, I'm done with my home. I don't like my home anymore. I don't like my culture, my country anymore. Bounce.
I get out of here.
You get what I'm saying? Welcome back. So before I asked Bajit, I also want to ask Uru. What do you think about that?
What?
It pushes
Why people like take the risk of migrating to another country while they know that the risks are so high, and they're all only living on a hope of a better dream. Like they're not guaranteed that if they get into that another country or certain country that they will be guaranteed a better life.
So we assume that they know that it's gonna be a
pretty
much a shit show there.
This Lampedusa island situation. What pushes a human being to do that?
I think.
Like nobody willingly says that.
I want to drown on a freaking boat.
Nobody says willingly that. I'm gonna bounce from my home. I don't like it anymore. Something.
Yo, Mama Deuces, I'm getting out. I'm going to America. All of a sudden, no, nobody does that for free.
So we are saying that what makes people go from Tunisia or whatever country to Lampedusa?
For example, in your
For
opinion.
example, I think like if they already know that it's gonna be a shit show there, it must be much bigger shit show already in the place where they are, or they are so desperate about things happening in their life that they might not even think it through as well as they can. They could if the situation was much better, and therefore they kind of just say, "Feel I'm just gonna go there. I just want to get out of here." And there is that boat conveniently always coming somewhere Lampedusa. So I don't care. I just go there. But that's one. I don't know how likely it is, but I could see that happening to some people. They just want out from that place where they are. They don't really know what is happening in that other place. I don't know. Maybe they know, maybe they do, maybe they don't, but I think it tells more about what is the current situation in that place. And maybe there's some ignorance or, yes, some. Yeah. They're just reacting to things happening. To me, it sounds like that.
Yeah, because it is sad. sad for the both sides.
Yeah.
That Lampedusa island, for example, it's sad for both sides. Why? Because it is sad for the immigrants that are going to the Lampedusa island and from there to try to segue to Europe, and it is sad for those people who live in Lampedusa island and who are in Italy, government, who are taking this crisis, that they have to take this crisis. They don't have
It's out of their tax payment.
Yeah, it's out of their tax payment. So it is both sides in this situation, for example, they are both right, but they are both wrong, right? Because why, for example, you are coming with for that 3-day span, 10,000 people in the Lampedusa island. 10,000 people for 3-day span in Lampedusa island, where the capacity of for immigrants is about 400. And so you're already overpopulating. But then the problem comes with what other choices do these immigrants have? Because a lot of people who are immigrating are coming from a dictatorial government. The dictatorship is so, I would say, inbound there. Like the same thing that happened in Sudan, where that high guy, they found a room with a lot of money.
Different currencies as well.
Different currencies
like
as well.
Euros, dollars. It was estimated like few million he had like in that one room.
Damn.
But in Africa, it's noticeable because the government is very corrupt. Even the social system is very corrupt. It will give a lot of reason for a person to try to escape from that space. Because, in hopes of a better chance overall. Like, it's not necessarily that ignorant. Of course, there is the certain type of people who are, like, bored from their situation, so they want a little change. And they've been, like, sugar-coated that if you get there, there's high possibilities and you'll become a millionaire. Boom.
So there's a lot of propaganda happening there.
That as well. But there's also the ones that are truly in need of getting out of. Because I know a lot of, like... Well, I wouldn't say friends necessarily, but people that I've met that have that situation where their family have been in a fugitive camp for many years. And their parents have been, like, example, assaulted. One of them has been sexual assaulted. They've seen it, so on, so on. So their only hope was to get the hell out of there. And one way, what am I trying to say? But basically, a lot of people have proper reasons why they want to escape from that situation, no matter what the cost is, pretty much.
Yeah.
Because, like I said earlier before, when you went to toilet, is a lot of people rather take that risk than be in a place where it's guaranteed that you will fail.
Absolutely.
So,
they want to be. They would much rather go to a place where they don't know what is going to happen or what is going to come up, compared to being that place where they know shit is going to hit the fan at some point.
Possibility game, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. They're kind of estimate. Okay, if I go there, shit might hit the fan. But here, if I say here, shit is going to hit the fan. So I would much rather go there where I don't know what is going to happen.
That's why it goes back to what Idel said. Like, nobody chooses to, fuck my home. Like, I don't want to be here, even though they know the culture, they love the culture, and so on and so on. But there's an alternative motive that is pushing them to take that risk.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Like you said, Ideal said, I don't know if this is exactly the situation to apply this for, but need is your best friend.
Yeah, need is your best friend. Of course, need is your best friend. We were talking about that whole different topic back then.
But need is your best friend. In this situation, it is your best friend because you have to make a quick decision that, I'm going to be here or am I going to leave? You really don't have that luxury of contemplating, if I, blah, 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 and then you just blah, blah, blah more.
The result is never guaranteed.
And if you're being indecisive, that can cause your a lot of things like your financial life, whatever, even your life, if you start becoming indecisive in that moment of crisis.
Yeah. And for Clarence, this is not how to live. This is not how to do things. This is more of a perspective things, that how we see it. And this is not like if somebody is now in a tough situation, at least listen to this podcast and then say, you know what, I'll listen to them.
I'll take that risk, yo.
Like, don't do it.
He said $5. $5 is $5.
Like, don't do it like that. But also don't do it like that you have actually a reason to go. Like Bakit said, you have an actual reason to go. Your family has been badly treated. You have a bad situation there. You need help, or whatever the case may be, and you actually need to escape that situation because you know, like Piru said, that you know that the possibility of that happening outside of this country is much less. So I totally agree with that. I would say we take one more example and then we wrap this up.
Yeah.
What do you say?
Yes,
Amen.
sir.
The last example I want to take is what happens to the workforce when immigrants come. And the great example I would say is America, when America and Mexico.
My apologies to great free country of people, country of
It is.
freedom.
From a prison to America, how free are you tonight? Anyway.
Senor.
Anyway, so my question to you is, how do you see this playing out when, if America opens up the board as a whole for Mexicans to come in, like every Mexican that can come in will come in, but they don't have any like insurance, they don't have any green card, they don't have any rights to be there. So they will be used, that's for sure. And they have been used before. But how do you see this playing through, not just in America, but I would say in all other countries as well?
Well, here comes the political side, which why the topic is actually pretty complicated than expected, because, well, majority of the example the USA Mexican situation, a lot of USA's working force are Mexicans who do not have documents. But at the same time, a lot of Americans are saying that the undocumented citizens are a big strain to their resources. Like, how would I explain it?
Yeah,
Because
it's like taking their
because it's very complicated. Like, should they allow all of them in all of a sudden, or how should I do? Oh, I'm not even sure.
But how do you see this playing out?
Well, bada boom, bada bim. I've said Thanos should exist, and the nuclear. What?
Well, there we go.
Hey, I mean,
Conspiracy theories from the black person.
hey,
I say,
hey.
we live in a strange world, ladies and gentlemen.
I don't know what to say about that. I don't know what to say about that. I'm just gonna say okay. Okay.
I mean, let me throw that segue back to you. How would you say, or how would you see it like playing out right now, in like just in your base term, how you read, how will it play it out hypothetically?
Yeah, I was letting Peru answer it first, but I
Oh
can
shit,
answer
my
Sure,
bad,
go
my
ahead.
bad.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
it.
I actually want to hear the question again.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
I didn't listen to you at all.
Sorry, some up. Yeah.
I was asking about the workforce. How does it implement when immigrants come?
Oh
to
yeah.
our country?
Okay. I was right.
I was taking the example of America and Mexico because that is a great example that is very well known, that Mexicans are very hard working. Well, the thing is that, well, do they have an option when they go to America? If they don't hard work, then the problem becomes that they will get fired because and they don't have any like ways to defend themselves because they are illegally there.
Undocumented aliens.
But
But you said how would it play it out?
yeah, how
so
would it play out? And how I would see it is that if that happens, that all Mexicans, but this is not just Mexico. This is, for example, in Finland as well.
Mexicans.
This is the same thing as for in Sweden, the same thing in Norway. I was in a gym locker room. The guy, I don't know, was he drunk or not, but he was discussing politics with his other friend. He was an older guy, and they were talking about the birth rate, and it's going down and down, and that's true. In the Western societies, the birth rate is going down. They were discussing that who will do that bullshit ass job? So shoveling the snow, doing the laundry, cleaning, all these jobs that laying the bricks that nobody. If you want a better life, they are not maybe the best places to be in the long term. Who will do those bullshit ass jobs? The guys with a straight face said, immigrants. He was an older guy, of course. He wasn't a young guy, but he said immigrants, and that that felt bad because then he's actually undermining the fact that immigrants can be as smart or even smarter or better, good or even better at his job.
What? What? Whoa.
Shooked.
You're dropping bombs right here, man.
But
Puri,
are
as
you
a Finnish
saying?
version, he was shook that hold up.
Whoa.
His inside ancestors were calling. Hold on a minute, what you mean, bro?
What do you mean? What are you saying, man?
What are you saying, man?
You
Hey, but that's true. That's true.
That is true.
The thing I'm trying to explain is that if it happens that immigrants are so openly like accepted, then the fact is that then comes that social hierarchy when it starts to be like immigrants doing the bullshit ass job who nobody likes. Then comes that part of where you're doing a better job. Maybe a minimum wage, yeah, for sure, but it's a better job. And then the higher ups, you know, the doctors, the lawyers, the people who are making big bucks.
Yes.
Money, money, money.
Money. But
So-
how about yeah?
So that's how I see it play out. If that acceptance comes to a point where, and I would say that Western society has to accept it, because if it comes down that because of the birth rate is going down, and I actually explained to Bakit one day that how I would fix it with one simple solution.
Oh, okay, I want to
don't
hear
know if
this.
you remember it, but I will not say it because that's why I'm not giving you all the solutions here.
We're being political here.
Let's say it like that. Cancel culture is very near.
But what I will say is that that's how I see it played out. That if immigrants are accepted as well, and they have to accept because somebody has to clean dishes, and somebody has to flip the burgers, and somebody has to clean the aisles.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's my answer.
Yeah. Yeah.
The end is so what about Peru? Peru, we haven't heard about your opinion.
Yeah, I just want to comment on that. Like you were saying that, we should definitely balance out like how immigrants and what is the word? Like people living in the same country, how they balance out. Who does the
Natives.
natives? How they balance out between like who does what. But when it comes to like Finland,
Yeah.
this is very like we got our natives back, and anyone who has the citizenship of Finland. Where does they go? The people who are taking advantage of the incentives.
So you mean that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the people who are immigrants.
Or natives who
natives.
take advantage of the incentives provided by our country. You see, so how do you kind of like see that? Because even if there is like, sure, we have a lot of people who are very, they are pretty legit workforce, but they still would much rather take advantage of the incentive than go to work, and immigrants also.
Yeah, that is a good question. I would say that even then, it will come to a point where the system starts to break down. If it goes like, especially if it goes like a long way, it will start to break down, because then if the people start to like abuse it all the time, then more people will start to abuse it.
Yeah.
But it is technically right now being abused in a heavy degree, because a lot of them, I'm not saying everybody, but certain immigrants are doing it right now, that they come to the country, like they have the option to work. They're free to work. That's the funny thing about the Finland system, that it allows you to work and gives you the possibility to working. But a lot of them choose not to work and live off basically tax money.
Yeah.
And that's a big strain to the other, all the other citizens that are working a proper job and paying taxes and so forth. And when you are a foreigner that comes to the country that basically supports your whole living, why the hell would you go to work?
Yeah.
Because you're not even encouraged. Well, in that sense, you are not encouraged to be one part of the working force, because basically you're kind of like being spoiled, or
Yeah, it is.
you're being spoiled because you're getting free money from government, basically out of other people's pocket, and other people are basically, how would I say?
Natives?
No.
But
When you're trying to say like, elättäisi,
yeah, they're giving you a living.
basically.
Is it like that?
Well, kind of like.
Sponsoring you.
Yeah, basically you could say like, basically all the other like working citizens are sponsoring your living, and then on top of that, some some of people who do that abuse the freaking financial support, use that money to live a lavish lifestyle, which also
That is the actual.
that is the bullshit. Like, of course, I get it. Like, when you need, especially when you come first time to Finland, we don't mind. Taxpayers don't mind like supporting you to get you on your feet as a first comer. But when you start living off lavish lifestyle, all of a sudden my guy got a Bugatti. Well, not literally Bugatti, but
Who does have a Bugatti here? in
well,
Finland?
not even Bugatti, but let's say
iPhone 15 for
iPhone. Start living lavish lifestyle, like overall.
I've seen that.
Because I've seen that as well. And
I don't know, have you seen it? Like a foreigner.
what is this movie? Have you seen it?
No,
Have you seen?
no, because I actually seen it and I was pissed.
Exactly.
And I'm even not like I'm not even like native. There are not my roots. I was pissed because I was thinking to myself, of course I work here and I pay taxes. But then this
Motherfucker out here don't even work, because that's what like it said. Even though we're not native, but we can get the like native view of why some might be pissed of that behavior. Because as well as a proper taxpayer, as a proper citizen, I'm like, motherfucker, you live a lavish lifestyle with basically other people's money, and you ain't even trying to support the same working force that is supporting you right now.
Yeah.
And you don't have any intention of joining that support force. Because basically, Kela, the one that supports everybody, is a supporting system in situation when you cannot support yourself properly. And it should be treated as that, as a temporary solution.
Yeah.
But a lot of them use it as a main source of income.
Yeah.
So-
And I think it calls a need for more accountability.
Exactly.
There needs to be more transparency there how they use
Back
money.
to that subject.
and this guy was that in that
Yeah.
episode.
Exactly.
So you were doing the segue there.
Yeah.
Segue, he came back to this
exactly,
subject.
exactly. Sick ways.
Hey, how
Learn
ironic.
from the best.
I came to the show and somehow the subject went back to the previous episode
That's
that
how
I
we do
was.
it.
It's all thought out. It wasn't like spontaneous or anything. It was
He's
just
like,
like
oh
all
yeah,
turned
remember the
out.
accountability? that motherfucker was there also.
But
Yeah. Anyway.
how do you see this thing? Because I see it will break down at some point, and I've seen that this, I would say, abusing the system has started to wear down the actual system, and it has pushed those who abuse it. Like, they are very healthy, they don't have any criminal record, they don't have anything that stops them from working.
Yeah.
So how do you see this?
Well,
I would say these two parts, the immigrant part that come to the land and they are working their ass off and they are doing that job that nobody likes, but then also this incentive part where
yeah.
people are
Immigrant gotta work
abusing
this.
Yeah.
the system.
Well, let's say I'm just gonna be very transparent here. First, of course, I mean, there might be much more going on. Maybe they are doing some of these things I'm gonna mention, but like first off, I think that there should be more incentives to direction for the people who are working more. Like I think there should be like that kind of system where sure, I don't think.
Rewarded
Yeah,
because you want to work.
Yeah, I guess you could have both. That you have incentives for those people who are just taking advantage of it, but that's a kind of like for the sake of, not making a huge like fuss about it. But yeah, sure, you get the same incentives, but you better get better incentives when you are working, right? And then second thing, I think because maybe there are some, because I said there's a kind of the issue of accountability here. I think that how they could take advantage of it would be that they make research, anonymous research, like for the people who are taking advantage of the system, and then they ask them, okay, so what for reason are you doing, like taking advantage of it? Of course, because it's convenient, but going much more deeper than that, I asking, is there some things happening in your life that are making you take advantage of that system? So maybe, for example, there might be mental health issues, some other issues, whatever it is. We don't know really why are they taking advantage of it. But if we're talking about lazy people, we can already say that lazy people are not being because they like being lazy. They're being lazy because there's usually a feeling of apathy. And what is apathy?
This guy.
Yeah.
This guy.
Yeah.
So just point at him.
Oh yeah, but
This
like
guy.
yeah.
No, I'm not talking about lazy. I'm talking about like he's speaking just facts.
I was like, oh no, Priest was.
What
trying to tell me Priest.
That's why three fingers are pointing at me.
Oh, yeah, so you're the lazy one.
Anyway, so laziness is usually there's some fear usually happening when there is emotional apathy. So that it would be really interesting to find a platform for those people who are taking advantage of these incentives and then giving them that voice, not like putting it on the spot because there's a bit of shame.
You little shit!
You fucking sick
You better
asshole.
work your ass off.
You see, like instead of that, like,
Shikaka.
finding a way of making that research quantitative kind of research where they can take a poll and like, okay, so where are you from, and just gathering data about demographics and those kind of things, and then kind of trying to find some certain factors that are making them go towards that incentives that is going to paralyze the society eventually. And then finding ways how to market that better incentive where the more you work, the better incentives you get. And I think that would be something, like I said in the beginning, I don't know, maybe they're doing already this kind of stuff. I don't know. Do you know, are they doing that kind of thing?
I know this, that if you are a foreigner here who doesn't speak Finnish, you will not find jobs easily.
Yeah.
At this moment, I have a friend who is constantly looking for a job.
Yeah.
But he's not from Finland. He's a foreigner who is studying here, but he doesn't speak Finnish.
Yeah.
Almost impossible to find a job. And the worst part is that he is willing to go there, not even with the minimum wage that is for law, but even with the lower wage. And he's willing to work any job. And still he has a problem, a difficulty to work.
That's true.
So I would say this, but if you speak Finnish in Finland and you want to work, you will find work.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
But I just want to go back to again what you said. There needs to be more accountability.
Yes.
Not just on the side of the appliers who
Not the
apply,
applier.
but also the employers who are like handing out the jobs. Like, okay, what made you think that this guy is better for this guy?
Name.
And not just because he's immigrant. I cannot. Nobody's gonna say that aloud. Like I'm not gonna because he's a black, so I cannot.
Yeah, Abdul.
I cannot hire him because he's black. So
Hey, we've been there. We've seen that. We've seen that. That's not even a joke.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah, but that's why I think there needs to be a few things like a shift in that incentive system and also the accountability on both sides. And I think that would bring different results. And also that research thing that I mentioned.
Actually, in Finland, they are pushing right now that applicants would send their CVs and their applicants without names
Yeah, anonymous.
and without genders.
Yeah.
So and without age, so they know exactly that it's solely based on their competence.
That's actually really good.
And that's actually very good, but it takes maybe for 50, 60 years now until it happens because of do you know who is employing the next generation? This generation. This guy is employing the next Finnish generation. Not some 50-year-old guy at this moment. At this moment, that 50-year-old guy is employing this new generation, and they are doing it with the old-fashioned way, where if your name is not Finnish, and I'm talking about in a high like
Established job.
Yeah, high established jobs. If your name is not Finnish, they will be excluded immediately, even if you are at the top of the top.
And you have the capabilities, the skill sets, and knowledge.
Yeah.
No, apologize. To that is actually easily noticeable. Have you seen the amount of, I would say, Pakistani and Indians that are studying medicine and like medical studies in university? Actually, a lot of them have actually a medical degree from their country, but because they're not qualified in Finland. They're basically a lot of them tend to lower their standard to work as a regular job, as an example, food carrier.
What a shame.
And
What a
for
shame.
This actually was what's it called in Finnish? The PhD, the PhD, but before you get that diploma, it's like you have to argue your point.
Yeah.
What's the correct?
I know what you're talking
It's,
about. I don't know the right word.
The väitöskirja, you mean the
Yeah.
kind of.
Well,
Anyway, there are.
well, there's like a study you have to do, which is based for in order you to get a PhD. here in Finland, and it's a very long process. It takes for some people it takes years to accomplish it, and it has to be in a place where when you present the work, then you have to defend that argument that you have done the work, and then if that argument stands and you have the right evidence for it, then you will be granted the PhD.
Yeah.
Well, basically, that kind of work was done about 1 month ago, something like that, about the foreigners who have a PhD in Finland, who are working as a janitor,
Exactly.
who are working as a cleaner, who are working as a dishwasher, and it was amazing because in Finland, the people who like read it was like, oh, how is this possible? But the foreigners who are like, yeah, this is like common thing. But I would say like this: I actually respect this Finnish people about this, and this is my argument.
Okay.
They are protecting their own kind. So I'm not talking about in an asshole way.
No. Clear out for Puri, because I noticed he dropped out from the train for a moment.
I'm kind of following, but I also have like a few like arguments on my behalf that I will share.
So this is my argument. The Finnish people, they are very good at protecting themselves when it comes to like outsiders. They are very good at that. Why? Because they don't have that social I would say
Security? Not security, but
social, the same social life that has other cultures, that has other countries. So they protect themselves. That even when they know that somebody is not good at it, if it's Finnish, they will not say it's bad. You get what I'm saying? That they are protecting their reputation, I would say better. Okay. They're protecting their culture in that sense. So if it happens that you are applying for that high-end job, and if you're not Finnish, then the Finnish people will look at it and see that, okay, this is like a way of them manipulating the Finnish culture, the Finnish language. Because if you are in a high-ended job, you take a lot of responsibility, but when you're taking a lot of responsibility, you also take a lot of authority. Isn't that they go hand to hand? And so I respect that for it, because they are trying with their very best to protect their culture.
The standards.
Yeah. I would say, and that's why I respect it.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
But I respect it.
I think in that way I kind of agree with you that they are protecting their like high standards, because Finland is well known for the high quality level of like providing standards for healthcare service and those kind of things, but it also calls that kind of between the lines message that your standards are not good enough for ours compared to our standards. In a way, they kind of sure, you did your thing there in your country,
you did your thing, get out of here.
But here it doesn't matter for shit. So but I think like there should be that kind of maybe kind of like a test examination where they would kind of like measure the level. Do they live up to our standards? And they wouldn't have to have that kind of thing. Oh, you did your thing there, but here it doesn't matter for shit. Instead they could just be like, okay, you need to do this examination, and we are gonna measure. No matter like where you did it, if you're able to kind of pass it, then you can come here. Yeah. But if you're not able to, then it doesn't matter. Yeah. You see,
we are not
Preach Puru. Speaking.
We are not even talking politics, but this guy just solved like half of the problems that countries have.
He said, Preacher Puru on a move again. Amen.
He's actually a preacher, you know that.
Yeah.
On a cup.
But I would say this is the end of our discussion. Do we have any advice for this particular topic or for immigrants?
No, he gave us a grudge because I was named the preacher, and now do you have anything to say to him? Oh man, but like honestly, where should I start? Like even like it's just
what the hell am I going to even say?
But I don't know what to say really, because it was such a like we started from talking about appreciation, and then we came to this like, this is how we're gonna solve the issue.
Exactly. He said no politics, but all of a sudden we're all full of.
It's funny how like there was like this is a podcast where we don't discuss politics, and right few moments later.
And he's looking for the cancel culture. I already say he's looking for it.
Now we're talking all about politics, but like to me like it's really difficult, but like consider the context, I guess, both sides. If you, when you come into country, see, okay, maybe that's why the reason they are thinking that way about us. It is not just because white people are trash, but also the other way around. Like when you are from Finland, especially if you haven't traveled that much around the country, around the world, especially around the world, consider that your perspective of things is not going to be as wide as people who have traveled a lot. So I guess yes, and especially even if you, but like considering if you have studied history around the world, maybe you have a bit more wider perspective considered to person who has been traveling all just inside the country and never has talked to a foreigner, for example. So maybe know your history, know the history world, and also consider the context, whatever it is. And so that kind of sums it up on my behalf.
Amen.
Amen.
So, I mean, I got two things. Well, is it two things? Anyway, well, from perspective of immigrant, I would say hold on to your culture, values, background, because a lot of people tend to forget that and mix that into the certain environment that they move into it. But anyway, hold on into your culture and so on. But also remember to adapt to the standards and behaviors of that country that you live in.
Yeah.
So you cannot just come here and force your own culture, but you gotta still maintain your culture. That's my point to immigrant. And to a Finnish not Finnish in this situation, but the native, I would say try to put yourself in a situation that imagine if comes a situation that you as a native have to escape your country and go to another person's quote unquote place and live there in their culture and behavior. How would you feel if you were treated in a way that you do not belong there constantly, even though you might be in your best behavior? And if you can think of that, because Finland had that situation when they had to escape to Sweden, basically. So you have to think in that sense.
Yeah.
And one more thing I had in my mind, but I would segue in this midway because my brain just did brain fart and
But before that, so basically what you're saying is consider the context.
Yeah, consider the context pretty much. Like the preacher Puro said right now. Consider the context.
Yeah.
Great. I would just say the first thing first. If you go to migrate somewhere, open the rule book of that country. Understand what kind of culture it is. Understand what kind of rules they have. Because you cannot just go to someone's house and say, you know what?
It's my way or highway.
My way.
Yeah.
This is my house. No, you cannot do that.
Yeah.
You're going to their house. You're going to their country. Learn the rules and play by them.
Yeah.
But understand still that don't lose yourself.
Consider the context.
Again,
I'm a little bit like taking off what they have said.
I mean, it's part of the thing.
Because it is so hard facts. Like you shouldn't be treating somebody badly just because they are different. But also you shouldn't be treating them good just because they are doing bad shit.
Yeah, that's true.
That is a fact.
Yeah.
The other fact is that if you go to someone else's place, learn its rules. You don't need to like apply to every single one of them because maybe some of them don't make sense.
Bro, even native don't even follow most of them.
But the main rules that you need to know. And the second thing is that you preserve yourself. Understand that you still have your own culture. You still are your own human being. But I want to say the last thing that this whole podcast was us giving our perspective. This is not some professionals doing because neither of us are in an immigration center.
I mean, maahanmuuttajavirasto, what do you mean?
We are not somewhere that we are constantly working with immigrants.
True.
We don't have that perspective where we see that all the time. But we can say our own opinions and how we see the things.
Yes.
And if you take this podcast, I would say more of a like educational part or
Entertainment,
curiosity, not some gospel. This is not
No.
Even though we have a preacher right here, but
Exactly.
do not,
And still, this isn't religious.
do not, and also do not take anything into your heart. Like even if you were a part of a group or certain ethnicity that we mentioned, we do not, of course, mean all of you or all of certain group.
Yes.
It's just like a overall opinion
If it's,
and what we've perceived so far.
we have talked about me, Bakit more, but me and Bakit, we have talked about so much trash from Finnish guys. From Finnish people.
And I have also.
But he has also, but But he's still finished, and we are still here.
Yeah.
If you were a bad person, I wouldn't be around you.
Yeah.
And I've said this 100 times.
Yeah.
And same thing goes with this guy. He doesn't steal your car.
Yo, hold on. Yo, hold on.
Deep
Hey,
silence.
but what he
Oh,
tried
wait
to
a minute. What do you mean?
But what I'm trying to say is that if he was a bad person, I wouldn't hang around with him. Simple as that. And the same goes both ways. If I was a bad person, stealing your girlfriends and going with your moms and doing all these things.
Where is this coming from?
Where did the
Going
moms
with your
come from
mom,
as
what
well?
the fuck?
I mean, I can't blame him. I'm also part of that group. What?
What?
What? Anyway,
This got weird really
Last
quickly.
words.
pick up
Yeah.
the...
Do you have any last words?
Yes,
Yeah.
I have a preacher word, so I would say like this. Guys, simple rule. Equality does not exist. It's a illusion that we created.
Well, there we go. Cancel.
Only time we are equal is when we are humans. But everything else, equality doesn't exist. Oh shit. he went dark immediately. Nah, just kidding. But no, I would say this is an interesting topic, but fixing it and finding a proper solution for it it's a complicated. It's complicated.
Yeah.
It does not have a one way of doing this. Like example,
Yeah.
let's not accept all immigrants, or we should be just blue-eyed and accept everybody.
Yeah. It's not either
It
or.
does not have a simple solution, because then you will come to another crossfire, and then you have to figure that, and that opens up another crossfire, and so on. So that's
Yeah.
why we say we're not we are not politicians, and we do not have all the answers, but we still have some answers,
Yes.
as we heard from Preacher and our
Yes.
sexy boy.
Our
over here.
Casanova.
I have all the answers.
Man, like he said about mamas and so on.
Mamas need love too.
Ah, Jesus
Yeah, Casanova.
Christ.
Shout out to the great
Yeah.
mamas.
Yeah, it's
I
Casanova
can't-
talking right now.
But Puru,
Yeah.
I see that you had.
Yeah. So, to anyone watching this, comment, like, subscribe.
Oh shit, he went all the way.
Yeah, follow us on social media, TikTok,
Hey,
Instagram.
I need my energy drink sponsors like Eddie and Monsters. You should start sponsoring your boy already. Man, okay. I'm just messing around, man. Hey,
Yeah.
hey, you gotta do what you gotta do.
I have to bleep that, bro.
Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do, man. We try to get paid.
But yeah,
Yeah, pretty much. That's what I wanted to say. Before this gets carried on and on and on, I just
Yeah.
want to say pretty much all those things.
Yeah. Subscribe, like, and comment, and see you
Yes.
next time.
see you next time.
Yes.
Amen.
Amen.
May God be with you.